Hi everybody, it's GetRec57 here, and in today's video, I'm just going to be taking you guys through the new Rogue character in Marvel Rivals. So, Rogue is, as pretty much all of you will know, is a new tank in the game. She just released, as of recording this video today, December 12th, and she has got one of the most interesting abilities that they've released so far in the game, which is her F, and I'll get into that. So, let me take you through her kit. So she is obviously, like I said, a Vanguard with 675 HP. Her main primary attack is just a punch. So 1, 2, so a right hook, a right jab, left hook, and then like a double fist punch. Now, the double fist punch, if I'm not mistaken, does more damage than the... Yeah, so it kind of does, like, your right hook slash left hook damage as the final third one. So it does as much damage as the first two hits combined, right? Her first ability we'll go through is the block. So she has her right click is a block. It gives you a 50% damage resistance when holding it, and you have a meter, as you can see on the right there. It's kind of like the Magneto shield meter. I think you could hold it for a little bit longer than Magneto shield, though. Yeah, you definitely can. And it drains, and it's on a resource, so it'll recover. You can use the block at any time, but you can run out of the resource, basically. So you got to let it recharge if you use all of it. Now, the fun part about this is it's got a built-in ability into the shield, is that when you block, it will start, and you get shot, it'll start absorbing damage, which you can blast out as a double fist punch. So if you see in the bottom right, there's an ability that's red out, like it's redded out, because you can only use it while you have the block up, right? So if you look over by the regeneration meter for the block, as I'm holding block against the bots here, give me a second. I'm going to wait for the next cycle. So I'm going to hold block. Look, you see that little meter? So it's a small meter beside the regeneration meter on the block. It basically, it stacks up damage, which allows you to then use her left click, which is like a body slam. And basically, the more damage you take, the more damage that body slam will do. Her next ability is her shift. Now, her shift is, again, it's like two abilities in one. It's when you click it for the first time, it's just a quick dash, which if you aim it at a bot, it will do damage, right? So just a little dash with a little bit of damage. However, if you click it twice and then click it again, it'll enable this damage ring, which does tick damage for any enemies that are in it. And at the end, it will suck the enemies into your body, essentially. So you click shift, and it will pull the enemies right to you. So it's a really nice, like, crowd control, like, suck in item, which is nice for bringing enemies closer to you, considering you're a melee character. Her next ability, she's got a lot of abilities. Her next ability is her E. Now, her E is a very interesting ability. It has a lot of mechanics built into it. This character is very heavy with built-in mechanics. Her E, what it does is she does a dash towards wherever you aim it, a uppercut, but as a kick form, so an uppercut kick. And then what she'll do is she'll hover in the air, and you'll have a lot of inputs to do. So I'll show you the initial startup. So this initial startup, you kick up, and now you're hovering, right? So you do a little bit of damage on the kick up, and then you hover there. While you're in the air, you have a couple of things that you can do. So your first thing you could do is your primary fire. You hold left click, right? If you hold left click while in this ability, it will do 2 twirl kicks. You can only do 2 of them. 2 twirl kicks that fire like a kick blast projectile that does a lot of damage. So if you look at this right here, so as you can see right there, I did 2 kicks, and if I held left click anymore, she wouldn't do any more left clicks. It would just be like her regular punches instead of the blast kick. Now, if you saw in there, there's a third thing that I could have done there, which was you click E again. So look, if you click E here and then you click E again, it will pile drive the enemy as long as you catch them back into the ground and then make like a little blast effect on the ground doing a little bit of damage. So it's an interesting item that can actually move around whoever you're hitting. So how you would use this ability is you click E, you hit the enemy, you do 2 left clicks, and then you drive them into the ground, and then you can attack them with your regular primary fire again. Very interesting ability there. Also, funnily enough, this is just a flight ability. So you could kind of just fly around with her E if you want. Like, it could be used as pure mobility. You just go up, and then you can just fly to, like, the skybox, which is quite interesting for a melee character. And then her final ability, the most interesting one, is the F ability. This is, as most of you have probably seen, this is her ability Steal. So when you have this ability active, I'm going to turn it on cooldown real quick though. When you have this ability active and you're looking at an opponent, it will tell you which ability you would want to steal. So in this case, Doctor Strange, as you can see right there, that's his shield icon. This means that when you hit Strange with this, it will steal his shield. So I'll show you that right now. You click F, you do a little knockdown, and now you see I have the little like bubble floating around me. And if you click the ability again, now I have access to Doctor Strange's shield. Right? And then it goes away. So you can only use it for a limited amount of time. That's represented by a little bar on the right-hand side of your screen. If you look here, there's a little bar in the bottom right corner with Doctor Strange's face on it. That just shows you how long you're able to use the ability for until it wears out. Now, another thing you may have noticed, there's a couple things to notice in this ability, is one, you see how it knocks Strange down here? That's a CC item. So, if I'm not mistaken, this can cancel ultimates. It can probably cancel like animations for ultimates. I wonder if you could maybe, this is stuff that we're going to be testing, but we'll have to see if this can cancel, like, for example, let's say that an enemy Scarlet Witch is ulting. Could you knock her down, steal her ability, and then cancel her ultimate? I'll be testing that with YMI in a bit here. And then the final little factor of this F ability is that based on what type of character you hit with it, you get a bonus to your kit. So if you click F and you hit him, look at my HP now. You see how my HP just jumped to 800? Her base HP is 750 or 775, 675. But when you steal an ability from a tank, you're going to gain bonus HP. This changes based on what role you steal from. So let's say you're going to steal from Wolverine here, okay? So you can see I can get an ability. I steal from Wolverine. Now, my HP doesn't go up, but if you can tell, the up arrows on my screen, I get a damage boost because I stole from a DPS character. And then, obviously, the final role you can steal from is support. Let's just pick Gambit here. So if you use the ability on Gambit, take his ability, and it doesn't show you any effects on the screen, but if you take damage while you have this effect, you see how I'm getting a little bit. Let me go do it one more time. Let me steal, and then let's just go over to the bots here. I'm going to take some damage, and if you can tell, I'm actually getting health regeneration. So when you steal a support, you're going to get health regen just naturally. Almost as if you have just passive healing, but it's active healing because even if you take damage, it'll still heal you. So you don't need to be out of combat in order to gain the healing effect when you steal a support ability. And then, if I'm not mistaken, this character doesn't have a passive. Let me take a look here. So yeah, I think that's everything. So no passive on this hero. And then, yes, the final but most important thing is her ultimate ability. Her ultimate ability is a very interesting ability. Again, a new mechanic in the game that we've never seen before. When you activate this ability, it will engage like an outer ring, starting from the center of Rogue and going outwards, like Daredevil, where if an enemy is inside of that ring, they're going to take heavy tick damage, right? So it's like life siphoning. and then it applies like a bunch of effects. Like it'll steal ult charge, and it also give you boosts based on the role of character that are inside your circle. So I'll pop it right here just to show you what it looks like. So if you see the little circle, it's doing some tick damage, and you see how there's a 0% there next to the bot's health. This ultimate will steal ult charge from enemies based on what their ult charge is at. Now, I've already watched a separate YouTuber do a video on this ultimate, and they tested it. You're only allowed to steal ult charge from an opponent if they are above 80% on their ultimate. And even if they're above 80%, you could only drain their ultimate down to 80%, if that makes sense. So let's say that they're at 65% ultimate charge. You can't drain it down to 60, for example. You won't get any drain of the ultimate charge. But if they're at 90% ult charge, you will drain their ult charge, but you will only drain them down to 80, and you can't go below 80. So it's kind of an ult that you need to kind of like be able to track opponent's ult charge in your head to know when you should use this ultimate to drain ult charge. However, it's really good because what you can do is for an ultimate like this, supports are definitely going to want to ult to prevent you from getting a lot, because you're going to get a lot of kills with this ultimate, because if you catch DPS inside of your outer circle, you'll actually siphon, you'll get the same boost that you get when you use the F. Like you saw how when I hit the F, I got the damage boost from Wolverine. Say I have 2 DPS characters inside of this outer circle, I'm going to get double DPS boost. So I will get 2 damage stacks because there's 2 DPS in my circle. And I could show you that here. I'm going to put this onto a DPS real quick. Let's just do Star-Lord. So we do this. And look, because he's a DPS, you see this little bar in the bottom right? It's got a fist and it's charging up. The higher that gets, the more damage boost I get as Rogue. Meaning that my character gets a accelerated, damage boost. And that works the same for all 3 bonuses. So if you're siphoning from tanks, you're going to get more HP. And if you're siphoning from supports, you're going to get a bunch of self-heal or like passive heal. Right? So they're going to want to use the support ult to counter you, but what you can do is if you catch their supports when they're not paying attention and you pop this ultimate, they're not going to be able to pop support ults in time before you start siphoning support ult charge from them. So it's kind of like an Emma Frost ultimate in the fact that if you're able to drain their ult charge before they pop the ultimate, they won't be able to pop their ultimate against your ultimate because you will be draining the charge from that ultimate, if that makes sense. And that is it. That's the final part of her kit. There's nothing else to talk about when it comes to just how the abilities work. I'm going to quickly go through a couple combos that I've I haven't tested this in game, but this is just what I've been seeing in practice ranges and what I think is going to be a pretty good combo when using her. So I'm going to jump into that right now. Okay, so for the combos, I would like to do a quick disclaimer. I have a feeling that for her playstyle, you're definitely going to be a dive tank. You're going to want to go for the backline. But how you should use this character is you should definitely steal an ability before going in. Because when you steal an ability, you have plenty of time to use it before it runs out. So you can steal an ability and then wait a little bit and then go in and you still have access to that ability. So let's just assume you steal a Doctor Strange. So you're playing frontline, you're doing some melees, steal the Doctor Strange thing. Now, I wouldn't shoot tanks with this character. This character's not going to kill a tank. But you steal a tank's ability because those are the strongest ones. And now you go over to, let's say this is their support. So you can shield off their supports, do whatever you want. And then you can do your combos, right? Now, I would have jumped into the combo right away, but I want to explain what I'm doing before every combo. So, the bread and butter combo for this character that I have a feeling is going to be relatively highly used is going to be in this sequence. You're going to want to do left click, shift, left click, E. So left click, shift, left click, and then you click E, which is her kick ability. So left click shift, left click E. You do one left click, and then you know, you're going to do this all really quick. You do one left click, then you click E again, left click shift. So I'll show you how that looks like fast, and then I'll try and do it a bit slower. So let's get a new bot here. So you want to do left click shift, left click E, shoot E, left click shift to activate your pull. That's one of the combos that I found to be very effective, at least against these bots. Of course, I'm not entirely sure how applicable this will be in game because I haven't played her in game yet. But this is just what I feel is going to be, you know, your bread and butter, what you want to be using if you're going for kills. Hey everybody, Get Wrecked from the future here. I just wanted to jump in and say that the combo that you just saw me perform on screen is in fact not Rogue's bread and butter combo. After doing a little bit more playtesting in game and actually getting to know her kit and how to play her, I'm gonna share with you quickly the combo that I personally found to work a lot better when it comes to surviving and you know, being able to engage more often without getting killed. So the bread and butter combo that you're actually going to be using a lot more in game is what you're going to do is you're going to try and find your way. Let's assume this is the enemy backline. You're going to try and find your way to get close enough to the enemy backline where you can use your shift to dash in. So when it comes to her personally her bread and butter combo, you're going to shift in, and you're going to use the slam from your kick to actually escape. So it's going to look something like this. You shift, you pull them in, you uppercut them, you shoot, and then you dive away from them. Now, this is not going to get you kills. However, if you're able to stack this with a couple of dive supports, it actually can be a very effective combo in order to get kills. You also have the option to stay in by slamming down onto the ground with your kick. So instead, you go like this, you pull them, you uppercut, you kick, and then you dive in and you keep fighting. Use your block, use your punch, use your F, whatever you want. However, often you're going to have to escape because there is a lot of healing in this game. So that combo may not always get a kill, but it's definitely the best combo to get some damage, get some ult charge, and disrupt the backline without dying. So shift, pull them in, uppercut, shoot, and get the hell out of there. Okay? And then, of course, that's not going to get you too far. I've been using her block plus left click as a much more effective escape tool. You could also use her F to get out as well. And then one more thing I didn't mention in the video is that her F actually refreshes your shift if you hit an enemy who doesn't give you an ability with it. So you shift, you pull, and if you hit this spot, and you see, since it wouldn't have given me ability, you see my shift refreshes. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all so that y'all knew what it actually was like in game and what's more effective. The combo I did just show you though can definitely still work in 1v1 scenarios, but the shift into E and then diving away is much more efficient for getting damage and surviving. So I'll do it again. Left click shift, left click E, shoot, E, left click shift to activate this. Now, the initial combo before you even do the final shift at the end, the initial combo will one shot, assuming they get no healing, every 250 and 275 character in the game, right? So if we go to Luna real quick, right, let's just do the combo. Oh, I did it wrong. Let me do it one more time. So left click shift, left click E, shoot, E, left click. Before I even clicked the final button, she's dead. However, let's assume they get healing because they're going to, right? Let me just put up a tank character, right? Let me put up a tank character. Let's just put Groot up to show how much damage you can do. So supports are going to get healing. Let's be honest. They're going to use self-healing abilities. So 275 is not going to be enough. So that final shift at the end there is what's going to push you over the edge, right? Actually, let me do a 350 character like Wolverine here. So this is now 350, okay? So not 275, 350. So left click shift, left click E, shoot E, left click shift, and then you continuously do melees. And what will happen is they'll be sucked in towards your melees, and you can use your left clicks to finish them off, just regular left clicks. And then after you've done that combo, This is going to be the hardest part with her, and this is why I suggest you steal an ability before you engage, is escaping with this character is going to be very hard. Because I personally think that her shift and her kick are the way that you're going to get kills. I don't think you're going to get many kills via block and left click. It's going to be because they have to shoot you, and then it doesn't even do that much damage unless they really, like, they put a lot of damage into you. And plus, you still take damage while holding this block. You're not damage immune. You take less damage when you're holding the block, and this will run out. So what I suggest doing is you do the left click shift, left click E, shoot E, left click shift, do all that. Now you're going to be taking damage, obviously. You're going to actually be taking damage the whole time. And then what I would do is I'd hold block, take your damage resistance, and then I'd use the punch dash, the body slam, in order to get back to your team. Or get to high ground, get away from them. And also, you want to use whatever ability you stole to also give yourself an ability to get out, right? So if you steal Psylocke's ability, that's a really good one because it's a good disengage tool, right? Because if you steal Psylocke's ability, you could do, you do your combo, right? You do everything, and then what you do is you just click F and you go away, right? You invisibility and you go away, right? So that you can stay alive. But it kind of, the fun part about this character is it depends what ability you steal. Based on what ability you steal is going to kind of change how you approach your engagement with the combo that I just showed you. Because, for example, if you steal Magneto, you should do the exact combo that I just showed you, because what you can do is you Magneto bubble yourself and then you leave, right? You Magneto bubble yourself and then you run away after you've done the combo, right? But let's say you steal, let's say one of the strongest abilities, in my personal opinion, you can steal is Thor's. I think everybody knows this. Thor's Awakened form is extremely powerful. It's one of the strongest tank abilities in the game. If you steal a Thor ability, I would suggest saving your E maybe for a disengage. Or maybe saving your shift. Save your shift or E to disengage from the fight, because you no longer need your shift or E to do damage, because you can pop Thor's Awakened form in order to get the kills. So let's say you steal Thor. You steal Thor. Now what you can do is you can shift in, shift pull, Awakened form. Right? You do that, and then you use this in order to get away. So now you've gotten your kill. Right, you got the health from Thor, you got the damage from Thor's Awakened form, and now you have an extra disengage tool alongside your block in order to get out of a fight. So it depends. How you kill somebody depends on what ability you steal. But I would always suggest stealing an ability before you do your engage with this character, because you want to have access to as many resources as possible while you're doing your engage. Because unless you want to save a 30-second cooldown to do this and dash away. But I wouldn't suggest that, because this is a very powerful ability. And yeah, so that's it for like combos and how I'd play her. I just wanted to say a couple more things before we ended the video. I did a lot of playtesting in quick play and a little bit of competitive, testing out this hero. She seems a little bit underpowered. However, we'll have to wait and see. So the combo that I showed you earlier in the video, the one where I jumped in and said, actually, this is what our bread and butter combo is. It definitely works very efficiently at gaining all charge and dealing damage and disrupting the backline. However, do not take that as that is the only bread and butter combo that you can do. I guarantee you there's going to be some animation cancels and combos found by much better players than myself that work more efficiently at getting kills and disrupting enemy play. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Anyway, thank you all who stayed to the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. And I'll see y'all in the next one. See y'all later.